Internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is episode 32 of All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign happening on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching with us live or checking out the VOD at a later time. Thanks for spending your time with us. This is a wonderful game. It's been a minute since we've all been together to play this, and we're all eager to get into tonight's activities. So real quick, I'm just going to say, one, look below Mike between Megan and Dwight, and you'll see that there are 7 domain dragons in there. Those Waterdeep gold coins. That is our way of giving you an opportunity to influence the game. For a gift of $5, a cheer of 500 bits, or a resubscription or subscription, raids, any of those sort of things, earn domain dragons that we the players can use to reroll reroll D20s and use the new roll. We can spend 2 of them and make the DM reroll a D20, take the new roll, or a few other things all the way up to the Patron's Blessing. 5 domain dice will allow us to turn a hit into an automatic super crit, which is double max damage. If you want more information, you can watch the scroll happening down below the stream, or you can type !domain dice in the chat, in all the menu of what those do and how to purchase those for the players will show up. Down in the corner there below Dwight, you will see the Jasper's Game Day logo. Typing !Jasper will give you a direct link to donate to Jasper's Game Day, a wonderful Michigan-based charity dedicated to raising awareness and the elimination of suicide through tabletop gaming. All funds raised go to benefit Jasper's Game Day, and specifically to fund crisis centers around the country. Also to that end, you can type coffee, !coffee in the chat, and you will see a link to purchase Metade roast coffee, a medium Brazilian and Peruvian roast coffee. For every 12-ounce bag of that coffee that you purchase and enjoy, enjoyment I guess is optional, but I know you will, because myself and Dwight personally picked that roast. But for every 12-ounce bag that you purchase, $3 of that purchase price goes to benefit Jasper's Game Day. So please consider clicking that link, heading over to Initiative Coffee Company, and getting yourself 1, 2, 5, 10 bags of coffee. Down below Megan, you'll see the D&D Beyond logo there. That is because Mini Terrain Domain Dungeons & Dragon games are powered by D&D Beyond. So you can mouse over the stream and you can see our characters and see live updates on their hit points and conditions, click through onto our character sheets. And that's true of all D&D games on Mini Terrain Domain. So thank you to D&D Beyond for giving us that access. And the last thing I'm going to say before we get... 2 things. I always do this. If you type !merch, there is a new merchandise store that is on Teespring. The link is there, where you can purchase things like this Bardic College sweatshirt, or Dwight showing off the All That Glitters intro alliteration that Mike actually created in our first session, and I turned into a t-shirt, or even I'm not flashing you, Mini Terrain Domain logo t-shirt, and many more designs are available at that link. So head on over there, check it out, and get yourself some MTD swag. The last thing now, this time for real, is at any point during the stream, you can type !help, and some resources will show up that are available to you. You may feel, if you ever feel like you don't matter, just know that you matter to someone. We think you matter, and we want you to get the help you may need. And on the other end of those numbers are some trained professionals that are waiting to take your call. All you have to do is make that step, pick up the phone, and in the United States, you can call the National Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or you can text 741-741. In Canada, you can text CONNECT in English or PARLEY for French to 686-868. Or you can call the toll-free number 24/7, 1-833-456-4566. And that is for those of our friends and viewers in Canada. Do not hesitate to use those resources if you need them. And just remember, if during the game you find yourself wondering what that number is, you can just type !help at any time. All right. It is now time for us to get into our Dungeons and Dragons game. And that is why I'm going to turn it over to Mike, our Dungeon Master.
Wait, what? I'm running? I'm running it? Okay. All right, well, give it a shot. So, welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this amazing Monday evening where we're going to have a little party, which is totally not going to go terribly wrong. Let's see. Before I begin, I'll do the recap. And basically, it was a fairly quick recap. You guys all got together and you began to kind of get ready. You've been busy getting the inn prepared for, well, this evening, maybe even this session, as the Great Wine Festival is going to be coming into the Nobody's Inn. Nobility from all across Waterdeep and even further away have been gathering and getting together to show off who is the greatest vintner on the Sword Coast. And sure enough, they have chosen the Nobody's Inn to host this year's event. You can well imagine that this event is going to be fairly profitable for this evening if all goes really well. Of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of nobility, which means there's also going to be a whole bunch of possible problems that I'll throw at you. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get right into the game. Before we do, are there any questions whatsoever?
I don't think so. Not from my end.
All right. Then, let's go. The town crier, or the crier, who had been outside just a moment ago, steps in. The four of you are kind of by the bar. Everything seems just right. All of your staff are just kind of putting the final touches on things. The sommelier isn't quite down yet, as he will be making an entrance that is befitting someone whose job is literally to taste wine. And the person dressed in what looks to be Waterdeep official crier robes steps in and announces to the empty bar, basically to you. He says, "Now presenting Lord Ulrich and Lady Maya Than, organizers of this event, the 46th annual Wine Festival." And the door is already open, but they both kind of walk in. They bow to you, both holding hands in a very regal and decidedly, at least as two of you would probably think of, an excessively ostentatious way. They bow and smile and kind of walk in with a group of a fair group of retainers, say about like 4 or 5 retainers, kind of keeping them like looking nice, and they kind of stand off to the side. And the crier, not even stopping, from House O'Brinta, Matriarch the Honorable Remalia Haventry. And unlike before, the crier actually bows extremely deeply to this woman. This old woman comes in. She has on, though, just a beautiful like very, very nice kind of vair and silk gown. She has what looks to be a gold and dark wood and platinum inlaid cane as she kind of walks very, very slowly. She's definitely advanced in years. As she walks in, and with quite a few retainers as well, and they all kind of keep going. And the next one they answer, or the caller cries out, is Lord Silas and Lady Brianna of House Amcathra. And then Lord Jan and Lady Jessamine of House Margerster. And Bevyn, you kind of get a twinge a little bit. You hear the next one to call out is Lady Esvel Rosnar. And she comes in and she looks she bows a bit, but she looks at kind of in your direction very quick, and just kind of very quickly moves off to the side. And then finally, the crier calls out, Lady Seraphim and her wife consort Dorina of House Fyland. And they both come in, these two women. One is dressed in what looks to be a dress made out of wyvern skin. Kind of loose fitting. The other woman comes out and she is equally dressed in what looks to be an exotic animal skin dress, full length gown. They both come in holding their hands kind of very daintily. They both do a deep curtsy until one of them, actually Lady Seraphim, you can hear her even in the quiet, and she just starts howling, and the other one starts howling too. Like they're both like clasping each other on the shoulder and just laughing. And he's like, and she says, "Only joking. Let's get drunk." And both of them like just start walking right to the bar. Instead of like lining up with the other nobles, they just start like going and getting a drink. As they walk by, they kind of smack. They kind of tap. You actually, Anna, are you in there, or are you going? You've gone right up, right? All right. Well, they clap you, Bevyn, right on the shoulder, and you believe this stuffy nonsense, and they both order what looks to be some type of whiskey. The crier, having announced all the nobility, rolls up his scroll and just goes outside.
I think Asche would be down there, just, being attentive. And she notices that, some of them, or that Remalia seem to recognize him. And I think she couldn't help but ask, "Do you know that lady?" I know you said your dad's coming. Is that like an associate that we should be worried about at all?
You don't need to worry, but the other two know. I don't expect there to be anything to worry about tonight.
Except your dad, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. But with the lady, I don't expect. There have been things in the past, but I don't expect anything more.
All right. I was just curious, and I think there's other guests in there, right? I imagine lesser nobles, etc.
Mostly, it's just the nobility and their retainers.
Okay.
And not long after, all the nobles arrive and they kind of get drinks, and your servers get to work right away. Like there's not even a pause, because they all know what they're doing and they're doing it really well. Helmet, of course, is in the back, busy making insert medieval fantasy canapes here, and just kind of getting them ready to kind of serve out. There are two of the servers are just running around getting drink orders like crazy. And so no one even has to worry about going to the bar. And so your bartender, Mila, can just focus on pouring drinks. Matter of fact, it even gets to a stage where one of the others gets back behind there and also starts like pouring pints and mixing drinks and getting everything going. Everything seems to be running fairly smoothly right now. Lord Ulrich Than approaches the three of you and says, "Thank you again for your usage of your establishment. I was just speaking to my wife how beautiful this place is now. Thank you very much for everything that you have done. We would like to give you a little something as a thank you, as a payment. Of course, all the money that the nobility is going to be having, everything that they are purchasing, all the alcohol and anything, money's going right to you, of course. But also, we would like to give you this, my wife and I, thinking." He kind of raises up a hand to one of their attendants, and he comes rushing over with a kind of a small chest. And he opens it up, and you can see there is there's about 50 platinum pieces inside what looks to be a very beautiful gold inlaid like kind of a little jewelry chest, if that makes any sense. And he hands it off to whoever takes it, and hopefully you don't fight over who's taking it. But he'll say whoever takes it takes it, and they have that. You can add that to your funds.
I'll let Bevyn continue to. You're muted, Dwight. I was gonna say, I'll let you continue to track the stuff, but I think maybe to the surprise of the others, or maybe not. 6 is somewhat subdued. Maybe looking a little bit like he's trying desperately to keep his mouth shut, but is standing a little taller than usual. And as with each of the nobles, I've been bowing, and I would graciously accept the gift and take care of it. Yeah, we really should have hired somebody for this. But I will take the actual. I imagine being in entertainment, having a little experience dealing with this kind of thing. Whether it's true or not, I believe I know what I'm doing. And so with a bow, I would accept and offer my thanks.
All right. And after presenting you with this gift, he said looks to be two guards dressed in what looks to be kind of chain shirts, carrying swords, they're definitely armed. They're actually one of the few armed people here, unless you guys are carrying. I'm not sure if you guys carrying your weapons.
It's part of my overall presentation. Yes.
All right.
None
How
that
about
are
you?
visible.
That's a spirit.
Yeah.
There's a good lad. So the two guards come up and they look to be holding a much larger chest. Well, not much larger, but larger. One in each hand, or one handle in each hand. Lord Than asks, "This is the prize winning for this event. Is there a place that we can put this?"
I'll step forward before. Yes, my lord. We've taken precautions for this. If you have your men follow me, I'll show them the way, and I'll head up to where Anna is. I'm assuming already standing guard.
Now, are you going to be you just going up the stairs, or are you going up the ladder?
I'm gonna guess it'd be hard to get that up the ladder.
Not to mention, you have to go behind the bar and through the pantry, and
so I would lead them through the.
I could just use mage hand. Just zoop. Just.
I think it weighs more than 10 pounds.
It does, yeah. It does weigh.
I remember
a whole
correctly.
Bunch more
there's 5,000 platinum pieces in that chest.
No.
Dang.
There's 500 platinum. 5,000 gold.
That's a lot of platinum.
I see what you're trying to do there. You're trying to increase the money. Well played. Not falling for that one.
Oh, how did this extra 0 get here?
What do you mean we each got 20 million? I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, that might be a little too much weight. Just a little bit.
Yeah, and seeing as how both of them are carrying it, they look to be like fairly large lads, and they're both carrying, like, they got a handle each. They're hefting it pretty. It's definitely like at least probably about 50 or 60 pounds. So they begin carrying it. They walk up the stairs, and they go right into the study. Anna, you see the two of them, two guards holding a large chest. They say, so forgive us. Where would you like us to, put it?
Anna is sitting on the desk. She's throwing her dagger kind of up and catching it and up and catching it. She just kind of looks at them and points over to the bookcase. Right back there.
Well, you want us to put it on the bookcase because it does have a significant weight to it.
Right, yeah. That's exactly.
So you want them to put it on top of the bookcase or just like down on the floor?
No, she just kind of like looks at them for a moment, enjoying their confusion for a brief second, and then goes and pulls whatever lever to open up behind the bookcase to the safe.
Sure. And as it pops open, both of them kind of like sit back for as a surprise. And they put it into the safe. Closing it up, they remain there. And you say, begging your real pardon, but we do have to stand guard and all. I mean, I know it's your place. And the second one pipes up too, and she says, "Yeah, we're real sorry, but we have to stay here."
Right. That's fine.
Oh, okay then. All right. And the other one's like, yeah, no, good. And then they both kind of take up each side. They both stand against the bookcase on either side and just kind of like, the bouncer routine, one arm kind of clasped over the other at the hip, and they just kind of just looking around.
Anna retakes her seat on the desk. She would look to Bevyn. Do you think they know how to play cards? Do you know how to play cards?
I don't know that I've met a soldier that didn't.
Well, I know 3 dragons snap, and I mean, maybe. And the woman's like, the dice is more my game, but I guess I could learn.
Right, excellent. This is going to be a long night, so... And she's going to start clearing off the desk. Bevyn, you in?
I'll stick around for a bit, yeah.
Oh goodness, we're gonna be playing cards, are we? Okay. All right. All right. Back down at the floor. Asche and Six, are you two going to be like hobnobbing with any of these nobles in particular? Anyone you want to talk to?
I think Ash, since she's kind of new on the scene, would be interested in actually trying to discreetly talk to the retainers, find out a little bit of who is who and who likes what. And I think she would approach whoever's accessible for oh my gosh, who is it? Ramalia first. Just out of curiosity.
Sure.
So she'd want to go up to one of the retainers and say, pardon me, I'm new to this land, and could you tell me a little bit about your is she a duchess? I don't mean to be rude.
So she'd be a lady.
A lady.
Lords and ladies, yeah. They would just be considered like there wouldn't be a like extreme hierarchical kind of a noble status.
Okay.
Here, so I mean, you just have lords and ladies.
Lords and ladies.
And yeah, and they would just kind of be the minor nobility, and then the open lord or open lady of Waterdeep would be like the actual leader. The rest of these are just basically like rich definitely people. rich and influential individuals within the city.
Got it.
The retainer looks at you and says, "Oh yes, of course. The Honorable Ramalia Haventree is, Lord Ulbrinter was her husband, and unfortunately he died during an incident in Waterdeep. Lady Haventree stepped up, and without an heir, she attained control of House Ulbrinter, but she is a wonderful woman, kind, especially to her staff and everyone around her. She's just simply a wonderful woman. I don't know what else that you'd want to know, but
yeah, I am new to the business here, and I was just hoping to learn a little bit more about our guests, but I didn't want to be rude, so I thought it would be best to ask you.
No. Sorry, did no one tell you? The wine festival is something where formalities are stripped away ever so slightly within reason.
I had a feeling with the entrance of those 2 women, I was rather surprised.
Yes, Lady Seraphim and Consort Dorina.
Yes.
So the and he kind of lowers his voice. The word around Waterdeep is that they are the least noble nobles of the entire city. They made their money by hunting and capturing rare and exotic monsters all across Faerun, actually. Very powerful, very impressive. They even have several hunting businesses that they have all throughout the Sword Coast, and I think even as far east as almost the Dales. But they are, well, They prefer not to engage in the more resplendent ideas of nobility, and they prefer just more of a simple life.
Very casual.
Yes, they love their drink, they love hunting, and they sometimes love fighting, all in the same time.
I'm sure some of the other lords and ladies might look not too happily upon the, at least the attitude.
It's not that so much. Well, they're definitely popular, especially among the lower class of people. The common folk absolutely love them because they're just like them, except rich.
Yes. Relatable, except for the money part.
Exactly.
How interesting.
So 6, who are you hobnobbing with?
I imagine as Asche is saying all of this, the camera just looks over her shoulder and there's 6 completely engaged in conversation with Lady Seraphim and Consort Dorina, I believe it was. 100% just right up engaging them. Which one was wearing the wyvern dress?
That would be Lady Seraphim.
So yeah, at that point, just I must say, this dress is incredible. This is a sort of like a leather, but this is not a leather like anything I have ever seen before. And it moves almost as if it is alive. At least while you are wearing it, it does.
She looks at you for a second, not knowing how to take what you just said to her. It kind of into one of those like, did he just hit on me? But then she catches herself and she said, "It's sea wyvern. Some of the lads down at the docks were having a bit of a problem when they were coming from straight down here, going all the way up to Luskin. So we sent a group of hunters down, and they certainly did take care of them quite quickly. We took 2 of the skins, and the rest of the wyvern parts we sold off. Made a pretty penny on all of them." And you see Lady Dorina kind of leaning forward and smiling. "Yeah, we did. Those lads, they certainly got a nice big fat bonus."
But it looks absolutely stunning and incredible, and it seems like it offers a bit of practicality and movement. I must say I'm very interested in this material, but I don't know about this going out onto the sea. You seem to be very pragmatic, though. It's a very wise endeavor.
You know what? I'll leave all this hoity-toity lord and lady nonsense to, well, the other lords and ladies. Our family has always been of the earth, and we've always realized that when you're alone in the wood being hunted while you're trying to hunt something, there's nothing like bringing peasantry and nobility, kings, emperors, queens, empresses. It doesn't matter. When you're fighting for your life, we're all one and the same.
That is, well, I believe the phrase that I have heard, I feel like this is something I've probably heard that my friend Anna say is, well, ain't that the truth?
Exactly. So, we hunt, and we make the world a safer place, and we make lots of money doing it. It's been all right for us. So, yeah.
I turn to Vila, and whatever they're drinking, the 2 of them are drinking, I just point to their 2 glasses, and then I hold up 3 fingers, and I say, if you please, I would like to propose a toast. To the hunt and to the hunted. And the stories that both of them spin together.
They both look at each other, the lady and her consort, and they both look at you and kind of, cheers up with that, and they both take a shot. Meanwhile, upstairs. So here's how we're going to do this. So we're going to play one hand, and I need all of you to. I need you. Well, the two of you that are playing. You're gonna play. How are we gonna do this? Oh yeah, here we go. You're gonna roll 4d6. Sorry, Matt. 4d6. Sorry, Matt Mercer. I'm stealing this from you. Yeah, you heard me.
Is this from the Desert Casino game?
Yeah, kind of. I just can't remember it 100%, but I'm going to make it up as I go along because that's what the GM does, kind of. All right. Nobody tell me what you've got. So think of it like 4-card poker kind of a thing. Obviously, if you can make a straight, you got 2 pair, you got like a single pair, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and then you can also get a straight. If you get a straight, that is going to be that is going to be the highest roll, and everything else in between. So you can choose as all of them kind of pass the cards around. You can choose to draw one, or you can actually draw one or draw up to 3. So you can pick your however many you want, and then re-roll them, and we'll see what happens. So each one of them, they pass out the cards and whatnot. The one guard, he takes, he asks for 1 card. Okay. The other guard, she asks for 2 cards. Okay. And what about you, Anna? Plays on you.
Oh, sorry, just a quick question. So if I ask for 2, I re-roll 2.
Correct.
Dice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and take those 2 new ones. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. I will re-roll 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And then then the play is, of course, onto you, Bevyn.
I slowly I'll slide 2 cards to the center. I'll take 2. Draw 2 more.
All right. So then they kind of look. Now, have you guys started playing for money? Was this going to be a money game?
I can see there being a few silvers.
Yeah, I think it'd be more coppers to start.
Coppers,
because they're not wealthy guardsmen. They're not, and plus they're personal retainers. So I mean, they probably wouldn't be paid as much even. So yeah, a couple of copper bits get put in. The one guard turns and lays it down, and you see that he just has a pair of 4s. The second guard, because of course I only had so many dice on me, so give me 1 second here. Won't even allow a reroll. Second guard smiles and puts down 3 6s.
Cool.
And then, of course, we all look to you, Anna.
Angrily, I think Anna just slams down. I only got a pair of 1s.
And I just muck my cards. I don't show what I had.
Ooh. And so the young woman smiles and grabs and she makes a big gesture out of it, like she's grabbing a massive pot, but really it's only like, 5 bits. and then holds them up. You gonna play another hand, or are you guys gonna kind of get to? Well, what about you, Bevyn? I know 3 of them are gonna stay up, but are you gonna stay up as well?
I'll stick around for one more hand. I've got time for one more.
Okay. You guys. It's about that time. So we're just gonna move the camera down. That the sommelier has arrived. Music seems to come from nowhere as the sommelier kind of walks down in what looks to be a vintner's guild of Suzail in Cormier. The kind of like purple, kind of a green collar with these kind of like different shades of purple walking down. It's a ridiculous looking outfit, but hey, guilds, right? So he walks down and kind of sits at this table where all of these bottles are presented, each one tied with a silk ribbon and a label as to where it came from. And he begins to sit, and as he sits down, each member, each noble, as they come around, kind of bow to them, and like kind of when it's their turn, will pick up, uncork, pour the wine, pour the taster, and kind of like hand it to them, and then very quickly they turn and they just walk away because they're like kind of a no funny business. No, you can't use magic, you can't use anything to try and trick anyone. So they kind of turn around and walk away, and you can see like eyes are kind of darting over to to the sommelier and his reactions on everything, and that just kind of carries on. You do see someone enter into the establishment. He is kind of barrel-chested guy, but it's a little bit less from like muscle. It appears like it's a bit more from being kind of heavy set. He's wearing what looks to be merchant garb, but he's definitely trying to wear like much nicer clothing than his station. He looks kind of ridiculous. He's got a couple of people behind him. Immediately, kind of the crier kind of like holds up to him and explains that this is a private function. But you can even hear his loud kind of nasally sort of voice. My name is Benedict Weimar, and I am here to present my wine, the best wine in all the Sword Coast. Now do kindly move. And he kind of bumps the crier out of the way, and the crier kind of stops and looks at Lord Than, and Lord Than just kind of waves his hand kind of dismissively. The crier bows quickly and kind of walks away. And yeah, so kind of gets on there, and yeah. So as far as that goes, what are the two of you still doing? Are you guys still drinking with your respective people or talking with your respective people?
Is silly question, but I didn't write it down. Is that guy Bevyn's dad? Do we even know? Because I don't.
I recognize the name, but that's me recognizing the name. I can't. Bevyn told us all about his dad, didn't he?
Yes.
I know that two of your brothers died, and your dad was coming, Bevyn.
Because I feel like. Well, let me see. Oh shoot! Never mind. That's the problem with playing low whiz character. I just rolled to see if I would have the foresight to go let Bevyn know, and I rolled a 2. So no, I'm caught up in drinking with the
cool nobles.
Yeah, the cool nobles.
I think Ash would actually want to check on the sommelier and make sure that he has everything in order that he needs and that his stay has been comfortable so far.
Okay.
Even though he's living in his trunk. Like
Yeah. I know, right? Only with magic can living in your trunk be really fancy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So as you approach the table, the sommelier, Jean, looks at you and says, hello, Ash. Thank you for doing this. I love what you have done with this place. It is magnifique. I was wondering, silly question. Could I get some plain bread?
Absolutely.
No butter, no salt, no nothing. Just plain bread. It helps to cleanse the palate after I try each of the wine. You understand?
Absolutely. I know we had some fresh baked loaves this morning. I will be right back. And she would go on her way. We'll get some bread.
Okay. All right. So other than that, he appears to be good. 6, as you finish talking up with the Phylons, they kind of have to go off and go hobnob with a few of them themselves. As you're kind of left alone at the bar for a moment, you kind of feel that presence when someone's close to you, you know? So, I mean, turning around, you see that it's Esvel, Lady Esvel Rosnar. She has kind of come up to the bar and she's ordered a drink. And she kind of looks at you for a moment, looks at the bartender. Hi, 6.
Hello, my lady.
Where's Bev?
He has other things that he has to attend to. As you can tell, we are quite busy with this thing that is happening.
Yeah. And then she looks up the bar for a second. I guess Bev wanted to take down the shadow box I made, eh?
I would look. Is there not the shadow box? What happened to the shadow box? I thought we had it up.
Didn't we
What did you do,
take
Bevyn?
it down a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the clues? I think we did.
Well, you took it down. You took it down recently.
Mm-hmm.
I know you took it down like fairly recently. I don't remember
we
the
thought
reason
it might
why.
have been. It was. I think it's because we thought it might have something to do with one of the clues for finding the horde. I'm pretty sure that's why we took it down.
You just happen to never put it back up. I'm not entirely certain. To be perfectly honest, it could have been our interior decorators. You can see we've had quite a bit of work done, and we did pay them to do some improvements while we weren't around. Maybe they put it in somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you enjoy yourself. I have to go to somewhere else that's not here at this moment. I'm sorry. This is making me very uncomfortable.
As you say that, she's already across the room. She's already moved across the room and is talking with someone else. But you've noticed that, for the most part, she's kind of kept to her own retainers. Like, she's tried to talk to other nobles, and I mean, you've noticed this, but they don't really seem to give her much of the time of day. And you remember hearing that that the Rosnars were recently, and by recently I mean 10, 15, 20 years ago, were recently allowed back into Waterdeep, having been banned or having been exiled for being caught in slavery. This, of course, was 100-year exile. So this is like long time ago.
I'm going to grab just the next time Jorvik, one of the servers, comes by. Just sort of kind of lightly grab him by the elbow. Do me a favor, while you are tending to the guests, just keep an eye on the Lady Rosmar and make sure she is enjoying herself. That whatever it is that she is drinking, that don't force anything on her, but make sure that she is comfortable.
Aye, sir. And he kind of scampers along and does his thing and kind of back and forth. He's kind of making sure they're definitely being attended to. As the night wears on a bit, Bevyn, would you have gone downstairs after this last hand?
Yes.
Okay. So coming back downstairs, I
would have also very gratuitously left a couple of gold pieces on the table for the guards when I left the game. Just kind of slid it over in front of them and thanked them for their time and got up to leave.
All right. Well, they both look really shocked and they both seem kind of touched. Like, oh, thank you, thank you. They tuck the coin into their purses and stuff, and they kind of with the game kind of wrapping up, they kind of get back to like, hey, maybe we should be actually watching this thing. So they go back from their kind of jovial selves to their more stern. Again, staring straight ahead, scanning around, waiting if anything is going to happen. All right, now you're going to take the ladder. Or you're going to go out the front like a person.
I will come down the ladder.
Okay.
Not trying to be conspicuous.
All right. As you head down the ladder, you see that the party's in full swing. Coins are left, all across the bar. Vila's picking them up as fast as she can, kind of getting them into what looks to be like kind of a cauldron. Like she has like you can tell that she's good and she's done this for a bit because she actually has cauldrons set up, mini cauldrons set up on the like underneath her, and basically you can see one for copper bits, one for silver, one for gold, one for platinum, and she's basically just grabbing them and just like a super bean counter, just chucking them all into the right proper like kind of mini cauldrons, and she's just pouring drinks and handing them out and everything else. She looks over. Right, sir, get you some.
I'm good for now. You holding up all right?
Doing well. Busy, doing well.
You're doing fine work. Keep it up.
Duh.
I appreciate it. And I'll head on in.
Sure. You see all the nobles that you were introduced to. Is there anyone that you wanted to talk to in particular?
No, and I am purposely not interacting. I'm just kind of hanging out back in the bar area, either behind the bar or sitting near the bar. Not really getting out. I'm leaving that to Asche and Six.
Okay. One thing though. All right. So, though, now are you kind of kind of ducking down at the bar, like trying to keep yourself not
trying to hide, but I'm trying to stay out of the middle of things, just at the edges. So,
okay. As you're kind of sitting by the bar, you're kind of near the sommelier, and what you see is the next people up are the Phylons. So they both go like kind of walking up, and they kind of like bring their wine down pretty like kind of hard at first, and they're like, hang on. And one of them kind of pulls out what looks to be like a hidden scimitar and just like hacks the top of the bottle clean off and kind of pours it like first like kind of pours it onto her hand, and then her wife kind of like pushes the bottle like back in so it actually pours into the glass, and she hands it to him. You like that? It's the wyvern blood that makes it just right. And kind of like puts the bottle messily down on the table and kind of staggers off. They're having fun, by the way. So definitely 5 stars on Waterdeep Yelp. As you have noticed, well, I don't know if you want to, like, I don't know if you want to if you want to like kind of look where your father is right now, or like in relation to you, or even Asvel.
I have, as I walked into the room, I took note of exactly where everybody was.
Okay.
That's just default for me, so I know exactly where everybody's sitting. I know I can see what they're doing, and I will have placed myself somewhere where I can keep an eye, especially on my father's table, but also taking note of where Asvel is sitting and what's going on there.
Okay. So if you want to see what Asvel is either doing or sitting or anything, just make me a perception check on that one.
Is it 19?
19. Okay. You can tell that she's just sitting there and she's just drinking what looks to be a mug of wine. Her retainers, whilst kind of standing around, like no one's really talking to her very much. But she's just kind of just having wine, and every so often her eyes kind of dart over to you and then away from you. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll let it sit for a few.
So. Sure. Your father, on the other hand, does not require a perception check because he's loud and obnoxious. Not surprising. As he's been drinking more, he kind of doesn't even go to the bar. He just expects people to kind of wait on him and serve him because your dad's a douche. In-game dad, not you. Okay. So, and you can see kind of some of his retainers are kind of even like one of them in particular, the one that you remember meeting here, has even like kind of rolled his eyes and kind of just began to kind of like distance himself from like the group of them. And he's kind of been talking to like some of the other retainers and some of the other groups around. Pardon.
Okay. So, and I notice my dad, and I stifle an eye roll as every time I glance in that direction. So, after maybe 10, 15 minutes of observing, I will I'll ask no, I'll hold off on that. So I'm just chilling at the bar right now, helping pour drinks and keeping an eye on things.
Trying to look cool.
And succeeding.
I don't know. I might have to make you roll for that. Roll me a cool check. It's a wrong game.
I rolled poorly in that game too.
Oh. So, what you've asked of me happens. As the server sets it down, they look around for a second, kind of looking, and then notice you and very weakly smile and
I will just nod and smile as much as I can smile. I'll smile back.
Okay. As the party kind of kicks on, and the sommelier finally finishes up, with Weimar, tries it and everything else, and kind of begins to like writing notes on pretty much everything. The party kind of begins to lull a bit, just because, like, how volumes in like parties kind of like grow big and then they contract and then they expand and then they contract. But on that part where the sound begins to contract, a different individual walks in, and this person is wearing what looks to be kind of the same as the other crier, like kind of the same Waterdeep, Waterdavian kind of robes, except these ones seem for a crier to be of much more importance. It does not take long for even the drunkest of nobility to kind of turn and look and see that person there in that garb, and they all begin to kind of quieten down and whisper amongst themselves. This crier kind of sits up and looking very like serious. Presenting her ladyship, the open lady of Waterdeep. And then bows and just snaps his arm out, bows very, very lowly. And even the nobility bow. They who walks in, of course, is Lady. Oh no, Brain! Come on, Brain! Don't do this to me, Brain. Lady Silverhand. Jeez.
Was it Lyra?
Sorry.
Lyra Silverhand?
Yeah, Lyra Silverhand. Sorry, but Brain just like, no, I will not give you that name. You will be stuck there. Lyra Silverhand enters wearing what looks to be like this beautiful dress. She's also wearing what looks to be a like gorgeous kind of silvered tiara. Not the kind of official, any sort of official crown or anything, but she still looks elegant. She stands and bows back and kind of kind of stands up, and then the just like that, the party kind of begins to kind of pick up again. And that's where we're going to take a little break.
All right.
So, the open lady of Waterdeep is here. Oh my. Things are going to get rather interesting, providing they don't all die.
And
Okay.
she came here by herself, yes? She did not have a consort or a date?
Understand, too, that she also came with two extremely heavily armed and armored guards that will also be, accompanying her every step of the way. But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, definitely came alone.
All right. Well, like you said, we'll see what happens when we come back after a brief break. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in so far. Stick around. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Hey, Internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is The Intermission. Mini Terrain Domain, or MTD, is a channel dedicated to the love of and participation in the world of tabletop role-playing games. Whether we're designing encounters or miniature terrain, building worlds or dice towers, or just playing games, everything we do here is because we love this amazing hobby. That is why the mission statement of Mini Terrain Domain is simply imagine, build, play. If you like to watch live play or actual play D&D games, you can do so at twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain 3 days a week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, you can join us for Cult of Personality, a long-running campaign set in the Tomb of Annihilation adventure setting. On Mondays, you can join us for All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign guaranteed to be epic proportions. And every Thursday night, you can join us for Dawnbringers, the Forge of Fury. This is a series of mini campaigns going across the gamut of several well-known modules. Season 1, which is available on youtube.com/Mini Terrain Domain, took place in the Sunless Citadel, and Season 2 is currently taking place in the Forge of Fury. If you can't join us in the chat for our live shows, that's okay. You can usually catch the roleplay, or rather the replay, on YouTube just 2 days later. If you're a fan of what we do here and you'd like to support what we do, there are a variety of ways you can do this. First, simply follow the Twitch channel or hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Next, make sure you follow all of the participants of each game or show on their various social media platforms. To do this, if you're watching live with us on Twitch, you can simply type an exclamation point and that person's name into the Twitch chat, or on YouTube, you can look down below the information bar and all of their links can be found there. Finally, if you would like to provide monetary support, which flows right back into the production of the channel so we can continue making great content, you can join the growing list of patrons on Patreon. Additionally, you can also use Ko-Fi or Coffee to buy a coffee or two. I like coffee. But the absolute best way to support the channel is to follow and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube and join us in the chat. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you link it to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to one channel per month absolutely free. No matter what you decide to do, we are just happy to have you here. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more great content in just a few moments. Remember, metadata!
Hi everyone, I'm V, and I have the YouTube channel, The Crafting Muse. Please be sure to go over there and check it out if you too would like to learn how to make some tabletop terrain, paint miniatures, as well as some game accessories. I'm always happy to have new subscribers over there.
Learn the ways of the Game Master, the Dungeon Master, and delve into the minds of the players. Adventure, excitement, thrills, and a time. Grab the modules each month and play the campaign with your gaming group with quest givers DM Scotty and DMG. they're taking you on an epic journey through the role-playing experience every Friday. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
And we really liked the idea of creating adventures together, so we thought that'd be a lot of fun to share with you guys.
I didn't think this kind of stuff would come out of my brain. We are quest givers, and I'll see you in the next video.
Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is a collection of 4 adventures for the 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game. The adventures are setting neutral and meant to be seamlessly dropped into any world that has a large seaside city and a jungle environment. With a bit of adaptation, the environments could be changed to suit any group. In Treaty of the Tiger King by Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, a distant king arrives at the city to negotiate the peaceful end of a war, but the mercenary guild has other insidious plans for him. Will the players be able to thwart assassination attempts against King Rami and help him negotiate circles of social intrigue in order to finally end the war? In Madness of the Majestic Menagerie by Ken Brees of Burling's Beard, the famous Majestic Menagerie draws hordes of visitors to the metropolis and cultural hub known since time immemorial as Splendor by the Sea. But now the gates of the famous zoo have been shut, and the grand opening of the new section has been jeopardized by a spate of mysterious accidents and, it's whispered, grievous injuries due to uncontrollable creatures. Mr. Majestic seeks to hire investigators and troubleshooters who can keep a low profile to iron out any problems before the impending grand opening becomes a complete disaster. Do you have what it takes to uncover what's driving the madness that's befallen the Majestic Menagerie? In The Infernal Collection by Sharm Biswas, when an influential fashion designer is found dead days before a major fashion show, heroes are called in to solve the mystery, prevent any further destruction, and help the fashion house prepare for the show. Gorillas in Their Midst by Jacob W. Norman of Mini Terrain Domain is a pulp action adventure wrought with perilous challenges and high possibility of death. But what is adventure without danger? Of course, there is the lure of vast piles of unclaimed treasure and the accompanying fame that await those intrepid adventurers who would defy the odds and plunge into the heart of darkness. In this adventure, the characters will face raging river rapids, wicked waterfalls, poisonous plants, venomous vines, sinking sands, treacherous traps, and the vicious jungle demon itself, Awakane Gori. Grab your satchels, fedoras, and bullwhips. Adventure awaits. The Adventure Mixtape also comes with 4 original songs inspired by and written for the heroic adventures herein. This collection of music and story is something unique. We had no better word for it than mixtape. If you ever received a cassette, CD, or digital playlist curated to take you on a memorable journey, then you'll recognize what you find inside this volume. Also included in the Adventure Mixtape, courtesy of Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, are exclusive combat cards. Special cards that contain all of the items, monsters, and spellcasters found within these adventures to make running your adventure all the more easier. Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is available exclusively on drivethrurpg.com.
Cryfall, once home to the most wondrous kingdom the world had ever known, blasted to nothing in just a fortnight. It is here that the fiends of hell walk among us. It is here where all things die. Welcome to Cryfall. Demon invaders roam the landscape and have conquered all. The world is a ravaged and wrathful wasteland, where the old world lies buried beneath the blood and sand with its gods and its secrets. Water is fought over with blood and steel. Compatible with the 5th edition of the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, this book contains all new character creation options, including all of the familiar classes with new aspects befitting the ravaged wastelands of Cryfall, along with new backgrounds, subclasses, spells, feats, and so much more. New races will allow you to play as the cursed Asche elves, the forsaken humans, the primordial incarnate, the proud orcs, the reptilian Suri, or the infernal-blooded tieflings. New game mechanics such as blood, grit, and effort give your games an intense focus on lethality and survival. Numerous roll tables full of ideas to help bring your games to life. Featuring incredible thematic art by Brandish Gilhelm of Runehammer Games, as well as Lloyd Collins. The people of Kryvoth are not heroes. In Kryvoth, it is courage just to survive. Will you rise to face the tide of demons, or will you succumb to the hostile elements? Available now on DriveThruRPG.com.
And we're back.
True story. All right. Anna, as the time has been going on, and you've done a little bit of small talk with these guards. You notice that they've just been standing up. A couple of them yawning, kind of stretching. They both start like yawning like heavily, like it's been a long night. And eventually one of them kind of like nods off while standing up, and kind of begins to like kind of goes up, like kind of rest up against the bookcase standing up, and then kind of slumps to their knees, and then just passes out. The other guard, same. They try and like, I can't keep my eyes open, and even then they kind of fall to their knees, and then hit the ground unconscious. You're fighting this sleep as well. It doesn't seem to be natural. Now, unlike, I mean, you've heard of sleep spells before, and this doesn't seem to be entirely different. You almost know that there's a spell happening. There's something going on. Standing up, though, you seem to lose your legs. They seem to just turn to just jelly underneath you as you kind of hit back down onto the table. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. Generally not how sleep spells work, but this one here seems to be a bit different.
That's a 13.
You're kind of in that moment between sleep and alertness, and your eyes kind of begin to droop heavy, but you kind of begin to shake it off. It's almost as if that point where you're reading in bed, and then you're starting to nod off, and then you wake up, and then for that moment when you kind of shoot up, your heart starts pounding, and you just feel more alert. And as you feel more alert, you see someone coming in to into the study. They are wearing what looks to be a black hood. Their faces are covered. Their hood is actually adorned with this kind of a snake motif, with like even kind of with a like dark gray with black kind of other bits of like material that kind of make it look like snake skin. And they're wearing kind of what looks to be like kind of studded leather armor. They grab their, like, they kind of sneak in, and seeing you, they immediately kind of draw their rapier slowly. You hear a voice, and they speak to you. This can go one or two ways. Either you lay there and pretend to sleep, or you can try and fight me. And you may live, or you may not. Either way, that money's coming with me.
How does that make sense if I live? The money can't go with you if I'm alive. Right? You see the logic?
True. But I'm not tired. Quite alert, quite awake. You think you can beat me while you're tired?
I can try.
Well then.
And you see, like, she would slowly get up. But you just... Whew. All right. I think Anna has an idea of who this is just by the motif alone.
Yeah, I mean, you probably would have heard of the Black Viper.
Yeah, I think wasn't he the guy who stole the blueprints, right?
May have.
Maybe.
You have no idea. You do know, though, especially from your time in the underground or the underworld, that the Black Viper is is not only a great thief, but also a thief who with that kind of frightened nobility. This like the Black Viper generally targets nobles, and they aren't opposed to resorting to violence if they have to get what they want.
So as Anna is standing, she's like, I just wanted to say first, huge fan of your work. Really, really, I've been following it for a while, and it's nice to finally meet you.
Well, you still sure you want to fight your hero?
Well, you see, it'd be different if you were just robbing some noble, but these are my friends, and we kind of need this money. Well, we need the whatever. I can't let you have it. I'm sorry.
A thief with a heart of gold.
Not really.
I might have to take that from you too, then. And they point, they point their rapier like straight at you. And they say, well, come on, stand to. And we're going to roll initiative.
Oh, God. Can you use domain die on initiative rolls?
Yeah, hey, if you want to, go for it.
We've established previously that domain dice can be used for any D20 roll.
Fantastic.
Which
I
is
got
fair.
a 3. Oh, yes. Okay. That's at 22.
Way to shake off that sleepiness.
Nice. All right. Then you have the first round. But as soon as we jump back, after we jump back from back to the others, Bevyn, that individual who spoke to you before, informing you about your brothers, you've noticed that he's been kind of slowly making his way around to you, but kind of in a very nonchalant way. He's not making it obvious. And he kind of walks up to the bar and kind of like raises one finger for a for just like a mug of ale. And he's not looking at you. He's still looking ahead, and he's kind of got his hand kind of like this, and he is on your left. So you're doing all right.
Well as it can. It's not exactly an ideal evening for me.
I hear you. Is he going to see you yet? Or has he noticed you yet? Oh.
He's too busy being an ass. I know he knows I'm here. But
That's fair. Right, well, listen, for what it's worth, I came into this conversation thinking about something else, but look, I'll be perfectly honest with you. If your die ever, departed from this world for whatever reason, would that make you want to get vengeance? Would that make you angry?
as far as I'm concerned, that life's behind me. So what happens to my dad? I don't know that I'd much care.
Well, that's fair. I mean, after you left, he had just gone worse and worse and worse, thinking that he didn't have any sort of, anyone to challenge him. And so it's gotten to a point now where we're just going to have to end things. I mean, there's talk about splitting up all of his goods and his power and everything else and whatnot.
Who's we? I mean, the world's a better place without him, but
we're going to be returning it back to Berengost. The folk who live there, I know for a fact they want to build themselves up a council, have themselves ruled. What was it? By the people or something to that effect. Anyway, they want to do that, and they would like to take the wealth and the companies and everything else and just kind of split it up in between the folk. Have them do what they do.
well, I gotta say, the folk of Berengost, they're right fine people, and Daz never deserved them. So if they think that's the best way, I'd support that.
Right. Well, I mean, as much as it being tricky for me to say so, this was more of for your information, other than just making sure you're not going to start some type of vendetta against the rest of us.
Like I said, he may have found me, but as far as I'm concerned, I was dead to them and they were dead to me.
Right. True. Then we're going to try and get him out of here, unless there's something you want to say to him.
I don't think I need to say what I would say to him. So as I'm concerned, he can get pissed drunk and fall on his ass tonight.
Oh, he's almost there. Don't you worry. All right. Well, and he kind of raises it one more, and he kind of throws a few silver on the table to a kind of glass, like grabs a whiskey and kind of slides it over to Berengost and takes a sip and kind of goes back around to all the retainers and everything else. Laryl Silverhand has been basically ambushed. All of the nobles have been like chatting her up the entire time, except the Phylans, because the Phylans are gonna do what the Phylans do, and they're just having a grand time. What about the other two of you, Six and Asche?
I think I would have eventually found my way to Six's side. Just kind of hanging out with him, and can't help but think, time's passed now. Wonder how Anna and those guys are doing up there. I noticed Bevyn came down. Is it okay that she's alone? I mean,
that was
they don't know these guys.
That was the plan all along, was that Anna would take care of things upstairs, and they took those two big burly guards with them, watching over, and everything is in the safe. I mean, what could go wrong with that? It's relatively quiet down here. I mean, it's a party. That's good to see, and everybody is enjoying themselves. But
I don't know. Like, she would probably just look up at the ceiling for a moment. I just get a little anxious. Can I roll to see if I do hear any of the guards collapsing from losing consciousness?
Sure. You can make me a perception check, but you will do it with disadvantage.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a noisy tavern. There's stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That was a 20 on that one. Okay. And there it goes.
We do have domain die.
We do have a domain die, and I would love to use one because that was a 9, and I don't think that will do it. All right. 13. Hey, I got a 13. What do I add to that, if anything?
So your perception.
Okay, so 14.
Okay. You unfortunately do not hear anything. When the first guard collapsed, Six was laughing at a joke that wasn't very funny, but it was told by a noble, so it was funny. And when the second guard collapsed, that was when an extremely drunk member of Lord M. Cathra's retinue decided to cough noisily in your ear, purely on accident. He did apologize, felt really bad about it. Anna, you are up. This is the first, it's your first one.
Yep.
So go for it.
So I get advantage on attack because they have not attacked yet, and I'm an assassin. So that is a 14 to hit.
Oh, let me just give 1 second here. It misses.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
It's like,
That's all I can do.
Okay. So the Black Viper, drawing the rapier, you can see in their eyes that they don't take any joy in this. Like you know when someone's happy to kill someone. I mean, you've had that same look, and you've seen that same look of people being happy to kill another person because of whatever, but you don't see that in their eyes. They make their first attack. Does the 16 hit?
Just, yep.
Okay. And you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. As instead of stabbing you, running you right through, they punch you in the face with the basket of the rapier. So kind of like, the metal basket that usually encompasses. So they hit you kind of like square in the jaw. So it's kind of like non-lethal damage. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Cool, because they're about to make their next attack. So I rolled a natural 19. That probably hits. I'm just not even gonna, and then, so after connecting, they spin around with the flat of the blade and attempt to strike you in the back of the head. You take another 8 points of non-lethal bludgeoning damage.
She's like staggering down, almost hitting her knee to the floor. We could just not do this. You could leave, and then I wouldn't say anything, and we'd all be happy. You are the Black Viper. You probably have more money stolen than anyone else. Why do you need more?
They sigh. I'm sorry. But it's not just about the money. I have to send a message.
To what? The nobles?
And they make their third attack.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh. That's a 14 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
Because I mean, like you're staggered. They're about to hit you, but there's hesitation. And that hesitation was just enough to kind of like for you to kind of just dodge out of the way. So it's your turn. You're up.
Oh, I kid you not, that is a nat 20.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm sweaty right now. It's so nervous. Okay, so then that would be, I mean, I don't know. It's not going to do much, but I think Anna is going to be pretty happy that she landed at least one good hit. That is going to be a total of 18 points.
18 points of damage? Yes. All right. Now, question. Is this lethal or non-lethal?
Non-lethal.
Okay. Okay. She looks a bit, they look a bit wounded. I don't know why I keep saying she. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of Anna. Anna looks incredibly wounded. The Black Viper, when you hit them, they kind of bring their like kind of hand to their face. And then they turn and then they make another attack. That would be an 18 to hit for 9 points of non-lethal damage.
Yeah, I am down. Anna's down.
As you're laying there you're kind of in and out of consciousness, the Black Viper kind of moves up really, really close to you. They hold your face, like very gently, in their hand, and they whisper, "I'm sorry, Anna. Didn't mean to do this." And that's it. You lose consciousness. Kind of the blackness overtakes you. So how's the party, you three?
Oh, it's a rip-roaring good time down here.
Wow, you're a jerk. So, so as you continue the party, eventually it gets to a point where it is starting to dwindle down, and the sommelier has to announce the winners.
What time would it roughly be, by the way? Just curious.
It's probably around midnight, 1 a.m.
Okay.
I need... Oh, what the hey. Megan, since you're unconscious, why don't you roll to see who the winner is? I'd like you to roll me a d6.
Okay. That is a 3.
All right. So the sommelier kind of stands up on the table and is being very, lots of giving a speech about the history of wine and how wonderful it is, and the proud vintners guild in Waterdeep and all the great things that they've done, and finishes it off. And the winner of this year's wine festival is without a doubt House Fyland. And Lady Seraphim kind of raised her head. What you say? And some of the retainers like, you won. And Lady Seraphim from House Fyland kind of staggers up and kind of begins to kind of move over and yeah, drinks are on me. Woo! Just the devil horns and, rock and roll. And her wife, the lady, Dorina, goes running towards, and they embrace and they kiss passionately, and they grab the rest of the wine and smile at the sommelier and just kind of chug the rest of the bottle between the two of them. The other nobles are kind of trying to be very polite about it, and Laryl Silverhand is actually one of the louder clappers in the whole group, clapping and cheering as they won. And they're all like the Fylands are just running around with their retainers, and they're buying drinks for everyone because they just cut a whole lot of money, right? And Vila says, it's starting to die down. 6. You want me to go get him? Let them know the party's,
Yeah, I mean, if they've announced the winner, they're going to have to award them prize money, so...
Right. I'll be right. Going right up. And then Vila takes off. Is there anything you want to say to Lady Silverhand?
Yeah, so as the excitement dies down, I'm assuming she's left alone a little bit more, hasn't been mobbed as much, but I will make my way over to her Milady.
So as soon as you approach, both guards step right in between the two of you.
Hi, boys. I'd like you to step aside, if you would. As one of the owners of the establishment, I would just like to pay my respects to the open lady.
They don't move.
So I just kind of like stand up on my tippy toes and look over their shoulders.
Lady Silverhand smiles and kind of like parts them both. Thank you for hosting this. It's interesting. A lot of taverns are very hesitant. I think the Fylands are a good example of a few rambunctious nobles. You have a lovely establishment, by the way.
I thank you for that. We certainly appreciate your appearance tonight.
Of course.
Thank you very much for gracing us, and it's good to see you again.
I'm sorry?
Right. I'm mistaken. It's good to see you. We do thank you for coming. And I'd like to get an idea as to how genuine her reaction was.
Sure. Roll me an insight check.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a domain die on that one. And that is 20, dirty 20.
That's enough. She is completely like, like she's being very genuine like she's never met you before. Matter of fact, even speaking with you when you would come and like began speaking, you could tell like there's no recognition at all. Like no idea who you are.
Well, again, I thank you for your time, my lady, and we'd certainly would welcome you here anytime. But enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll take my leave.
Yes, of course. Thank you. And she kind of goes back to being mobbed by more nobles who are asking for absolutely everything. Vila comes down. Actually, Vila, you feel a pair of hands on you, Anna. And at first it's all muffled, and slowly your eyes open, and you see Vila's expression like, "Are you okay, Miss Anna? Are you okay?"
I can imagine that the bruising is already beginning to set in, and the swelling from all of these, from Anna being just clocked in the face, nose bleeding, and she just kind of opens her eyes. She doesn't really know where she is. There's this sense of haziness, and I think she would almost say to Vila, "Vila, it's too early."
No. What? No. What you mean? Yeah.
What? And then she would just sit up, all of us. The money, it's gone.
And not surprisingly, you see the bookcase open. You see the safe open. The two guards look to still be unconscious. But even then, they're like slowly starting to move. What would you like to do?
Immediately, Anna's going to rush downstairs to find the others.
Okay.
She knows it's gone, but she's hoping she can get the head start on investigating the place before anyone with the others, before anyone comes up. Vila, just stay there for one minute, all right?
As you will.
She would rush downstairs, and the first person, either Asche or Bevyn or Six, first person she sees, she's kind of.
I think Six, you're by the bar, are you not?
I am.
Actually, Bevyn, I think you're probably also by the bar as well.
I think we all are, because I know Ash
There you
was
go.
hanging out with 6, so.
So I'm sure that the three of you have cluttered together and are just talking and people watching.
So Anna, trying to hide her face from the others or from the public, just kind of walks up. We've got a problem.
What? I don't know what happened. Are you all right? Is it the money?
She just nods.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Right.
Right. I'll turn to Ash and 6. Can you stay here? I'll go check. And I'll head upstairs.
And Ash would want to take Anna probably behind the bar, back into the kitchen, just to hide that something is going amiss. Maybe.
It seems like those two are always up to something. Don't understand it. 6 is oblivious to what's really going on. Probably has hanging out with the Phylons. I imagine 6 has probably consumed a few. And his senses are a little bit dulled. So every time I keep rolling to see, I just roll a base insight to see if 6 catches on to what's going on, and I've rolled single digits all night, so.
Well then. So yeah, you notice you're not even picking up on it. Lord Than comes over. Could you please retrieve our guards and the winnings?
I look around. Oh, yes, I believe the others, they were overseeing that. I will go see about bringing them down. It'll be just a moment. And I will head behind the bar and into the pantry and up the stairs, and
I think that's where Anna would like to go too, because she wants to go and just look. Would like some help too.
imagine coming up the stairs, seeing Anna behind, and sort of doing a double take when I see your face. By the gods, what happened to you? Are you okay?
Weren't you just there? The money is gone.
What money? The money? But wait, you were watching the money.
Right?
You?
Right.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm.
Because you do not look okay.
Oh, what? It's just a little blood.
Are you sure? Because this almost looks like it's broken. And I will reach out and just sort of lightly touch, almost like trying to delicately touch your cheek and putting my thumb like by your nose, where it's starting to swell up a bit. And I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level, which is 2d8 plus. So that'll be 10 points. And I imagine as I sort of touch your face, maybe some of the bruising goes down, and maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Let's go see about this money. And I will continue on towards the kitchen or library.
The guards, once you get to the library, the guards are just starting to sit up. They're still a little woozy. The woman says, What's happened? My head. And she tries to stand up for a moment and is still like extremely wobbly.
As I come into the room, I'll reach, just try and help them up, get them into a chair. It's okay. Take it easy. What? Can you tell me what happened?
The other guard says, "I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. We were standing there, and yeah, we were getting a bit tired, but it's okay. We shuffle around from foot to foot, but suddenly it was like the most tired I've ever been. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I couldn't do much of anything. Just collapsed there, passed out. But I've got this biting headache now." And same thing with her. No matter what we tried, well, no matter what I tried to do to stay awake, but I just fell asleep.
You didn't see anything?
No. 1 minute I'm standing there, the next minute I'm seeing all of you, and the safe is open.
Just rest. I need to look around, and I just want to start looking around, especially around the safe area, see if I see anything.
Sure. Now this will be investigation.
Let's see here. I mean 11.
I mean, you don't notice much of anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anna,
go ahead.
Anna, did you what happened? They say they passed out, but you didn't get this from passing out.
No, I didn't. I fought the attacker.
And they got the best of you.
Any idea who it was?
Yes.
You know who it was?
Well, not exactly. It was the Black Viper. And she kind of smiles at this, ever so slightly, and they knew my name.
Have we heard of the Black Viper?
Yeah, they've been involved in a lot of, well, mostly for Anna and my things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Have we heard of the Black Viper?
Yeah.
I would say a little bit, like just even by just sheer gossip, you would have heard of the daring exploits of the master thief, the Black Viper. Who he is like gone in and like systematically robbed different nobles and other rich merchants and many individuals like that. And also know he is at least on the minds of a lot of people who they're kind of worried that this Black Viper he could come up and just rob you blind.
So as they're talking, I take a couple of steps back and I just kind of reach into my pocket. I don't need to, but just kind of instinctively I reach into my pocket and right into my tunic and grab at that stone that I've been holding on to. And I'll just kind of ask it in my mind, who did this?
The Black Viper.
Oh shit, dumbass. Anna just told me that. Who's the Black Viper?
And he will say this to you. I'm gonna say it to you privately though.
Okay.
Whispers.
I know, right? Secrets and lies.
While that's happening, I'm just over to Anna because I rolled a nat 20 on trying to see when you were saying that I'd figured this is one place the bard would know who this is, and sort of sharing in a little bit of that awe. It was the Black Viper. They knew your name. You're going to have to tell me everything. And immediately I've got out like a notebook and a pencil, and I'm already embellishing what Anna's saying. Oh, and they could do a sword flourish here. I'm like planning out my next sword dancing show.
And for once, like normally Anna would just like kind of you away, just remain kind of impassive, but even though she tries that, you can see there's this sense of like, I don't know who to put it in better terms, but basically Anna's like fangirling right now. She's very like, it's hard to hide her.
So during this conversation, you begin to hear from inside your home, like the front door kind of getting thrown open, slammed shut. You can hear now a couple of your servers kind of like, just one moment, MacLeod, one moment, MacLeod, and you can hear Ulrich like coming up the stairs. No, what is going on with this prize money? We have a lot riding on this, and he eventually kind of bursts through the study, sees both guards kind of seated up and on the ground. The safe opened up, sees your bruises, and he just kind of, what happened here?
I don't
Well,
think Ashe would be like, I don't want to tell him.
what's happened here is we've got ourselves a right mystery of a caper here.
A kerfuffle of sorts.
That was okay. Cassie, you have no idea what just happened, but that was the worst place for your camera to glitch.
Oh,
You
God.
said what we heard. I mean, I hope somebody, if somebody's still in chat, clip that.
Yeah,
what we heard was,
What did I say?
A kerfuffle of sorts.
And it just kept hissing. And it's like, guess what, everyone? Ashe is the Black Viper.
It went on for a good maybe 10, 15 seconds. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
That was
Seriously?
fire.
Okay. You guys were so quiet. I was like, oh, I guess, everybody's brain is just buffering as to what to say.
Like, Ashe just made a pretty funny joke.
I did something.
A kerfuffle of sorts.
That was unintentionally perfect.
Oh, man.
So Lord Ulrich stares at you all and kind of goes over to a window and kind of opens it up and not screams, kind of yells. Guards! And that's where we're going to end tonight's
Can I
session.
do one quick thing while he's going to the window?
I don't really think giving him a tactical back rub would be a good idea.
Nope.
But I mean,
Since I had my notebook and my pencil out already, can I grab one of my paper birds and frantically write a note to his name just
crap?
I'm having what happened to you earlier.
Mert?
What's his name? Mert. Yeah.
Mert. Okay.
And just say, Mert, need help, 6. And whisper Mert and send this bird thing on its way.
All right. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
I'll give you that one. But yeah. So boy, didn't you cats get yourselves into a pickle.
I do not like that Anna being all alone, having to face off against somebody.
Yeah.
Not just anyone, the Black Viper.
Of all people, had to be this dumb.
I mean, Anna's not too upset. It's okay.
Super thief, uber swordsman. He gonna mess you up. But of course now it's going to be we're going to see where that all leads. But hey everyone, thanks for joining us this evening on this wonderful Monday, which is the only reason I would ever put those two words together. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did. It was wonderful. I love these players. I love this campaign. And I can't wait. And for any of you who's joining up, just to let you know that if you love these characters, you're going to see them if they finish off the Dragon Heist campaign. We're going to move them all into Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which surely that they might live. Maybe. Dungeon of the Mad Mage is a very, very big dungeon delve. Matter of fact, I have never seen a bigger dungeon delve outside of like some OSR stuff. And you know what? You won't be spoiling anything, kind of. I mean, just go ahead and read through it. It's huge. It's ridiculous.
It's the only book that I've seen that they've put out that has pages and pages and pages of just text descriptions of rooms without art. I mean, there's a lot of great art in that book. I've thumbed through it, but there's a lot. I mean, that's one of the thicker books that they put out too.
Yeah. I mean, and there are ones that are so big, they're like hundreds of feet across, like one level. It's just massive. But I'm looking forward to watching our budding young adventurers becoming uber bitter grognards over time. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I've talked a lot. Thanks so much. I'm going to throw it over to Jake.
All right. Well, another great session. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. And of course, thank you to Cassie, Mike, Dwight, and Megan for making Monday nights awesome. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for Legends and Legacies, the Tales of Phandelver campaign happening every other Tuesday. And then Thursday, we have our Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Nope, we just played that. I don't know why I said Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We have our Dawnbringers game with Megan is one of the players in that. I forget who's gone this week. Is it you, Megan? That
was Jeremy.
Okay, it's Jeremy that's gone this week. And then we've got, I think, like 3 more weeks of Dawnbringers. And then we're doing a special Q&A episode where we're going to talk about the characters and we're going to answer questions from the audience. And questions, we'll take questions in advance as well. And that's going to be on December 19th, that Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then hopefully next Sunday returning will be our Cult of Personality game, which we've been playing now for 2 years. Mike and Megan are both in that. Mike and Megan are the 2 original players, the only 2 remaining original players, and 2 remaining original characters, which you guys just reached 11, I believe, in that campaign. I think we've done 55 sessions now of that over 2 years, which averages out to something like, it's like 130 or 140 hours or something like that of Dungeons and Dragons. So tune in for all that great stuff. Check out all of these cool cats' social medias. They've all got wonderful things going on. So check that stuff out, and we will see you later on the channel. We're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want. Metager.